I am Ray, and I love Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joe!
Hi, I'm Horror Girl, and I hated Late Night with the Devil.
It is a statistical certainty that some fool will take the bait.
And let's
Find out why.
Please be warned, anyone with young children in the room. What you're about to see is profoundly disturbing and shocking.
Let me give you a quick breakdown. The film came out on March 22nd, 2023. It was written and directed by Cameron and Colin Cairns. The film starred David Dastmalchian. I believe that's how you say his name. Let me redo that. His name is so fucking weird. The film starred Laura Gordon and Ian Bliss. The film grossed over $9 million in the US and Canada, and it also grossed over $11 million worldwide. Time to take a sip.
Oh, yes! I love it.
This film is about a live television broadcast in 1977 that goes horribly wrong, unleashing evil into the nation's living room.
He's getting the name Minnie.
Does this name mean anything to anyone in the studio? No?
I had a great Aunt Molly.
It's Minnie.
As we get into this film and both give our points on how we feel about it, I just want to say real quick that I think exorcism movies are pretty much all the same.
I'm Damien Karras. And I'm the devil. Now kindly undo these straps.
And I am Lucifer, the devil in the flesh. Oh my God.
We're introduced to like a young girl on a late night television show. She gets possessed in front of a live audience. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make 3 points on why I think it was different.
Okay.
So point number 1, back in high school, I used to stay up late all the time and I would watch Conan O'Brien.
Seriously.
I dare you to take off all your clothes right now. It's sweet!
Now, comparing Jack Delroy's character to Conan O'Brien, they both were in the shadow of another late night legend. So from the beginning, I kind of already clicked with the main character and just sympathized with him, especially like the way he lost his wife. That like just sucked me in within the first 5-10 minutes of the film with that.
Okay, so I definitely get where you're coming from, because when I first started watching it, like up until kind of the very end when we get like the climax, I was on board fully.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is such a good concept and the characters are fantastic. The TV idea is fantastic. The 70s, I loved all of that. So I wanted to,
Yeah.
But for the very beginning, he lost his wife, all that, I was so on board. So I still agree with you.
Okay.
I still agree.
All right. I'll make my second point. I've seen over 1,000 horror films, and I don't know, honestly, what film I can compare this to. I'm not saying, like, it's the greatest film ever.
A wedding ring. An unmarried man with a wedding ring. The spirit needs to talk to you.
So, like, in the first 5-10 minutes, like I said, they sucked me in immediately. And because of that, I felt like it was more of an event and not really like you were watching a film. And to me, like, not many movies these days put you in that type of environment, especially in horror movies.
A desperate Jack plans an episode he hopes will turn his fortunes around.
Let's get the audience in, guys.
What you are about to see is the recently discovered master tape of what went to air that night, as well as previously unreleased behind-the-scenes footage. Late Night with the Devil.
That was another reason why I took it as like a, as a different type of feel for me. Let's just say that. You can jump in if you want, like I said.
I still agree with you. I
Okay,
still think like
okay.
the pacing in the beginning is awesome. I like how they set it up really briefly, so we're like right in, we're sucked in, we know all the details. I still agree with you. You're still right there, I think.
That's awful kind of you. How about you give me a standing ovation?
Now, when we get to my third point, I think this is where we'll bump heads. So the ending to me was different. Throughout the film, I felt like Jack was experiencing his own version of hell by like repeatedly having to host his show over and over again and doing silly bits after doing silly bits, just embarrassing himself and like losing his sanity, trying to compete with the rating system. That alone, to me, in the real world, I feel like can take a toll on anyone's mental health. And I've seen it happen in productions all the time, especially working on television shows and movies and stuff like that. It was relatable in some kind of way. So dealing with all of that, I feel like it might can just push someone to do some weird, unspeakable things.
Come.
What I got from it was Jack Delroy basically made a pact with the devil for fame and fortune. And with that, there's always a blood sacrifice that has to be made. At the end of it all, though, like, a lesson had to be learned, because we always hear that the devil is a liar. And even though he went through with all the demands to try to get success, he still ended up alone with no one on set, no system to protect him, and he was just done. I know a lot of people did reviews on the ending and what it means and stuff like that, and I don't like to watch them because I like to take the film and treat it like a piece of art and give my own interpretation of it and how it made me feel. And it may be right or maybe wrong, but you know, it's what I got from it, and that's just how I felt. So
Now, as you know, here on Night Owls, we think it's very important to keep an open mind.
now that I gave you my 3 points, let's hear your thoughts and get your 3 points on why you hated this film.
First of all, let me just preface, I didn't hate the whole thing, okay? Like I've mentioned during your points, the beginning was really good, okay? So the first point is, this was so hyped, which my fault for, you know, believing all that, but I didn't get to see it in the movie theaters, so I purchased Shudder because I wanted to see it so bad.
Oh, really? This film made you get the subscription?
Yes, I paid for Shudder because I was like, okay, I want to see it so bad. I was really excited. And I just feel like I said, like I keep saying, the beginning was amazing. I love 70s horror, so I love the concept that it was 70s. Like, I thought that was going to be amazing. And the concept is so interesting, and like how they set it up and everything is really interesting. And like you said, there's nothing you can compare it to. It is very cool. Like, I was on board fully. I loved the characters. The actors were awesome. But I feel like once it gets to the climax, it was just completely fumbled. I guess it wasn't the ending I was expecting, but I just feel like it wasn't a good enough ending for how good of a concept it was.
I
You know what I mean? So that's my first point, okay?
Gosh, I hope you love it. Please love it.
So the second point is branching off of how I think they fumbled it. Like the AI, I think that everyone said they used, or like the CGI or whatever it was that they were using to like make the ghost behind him or like make her head split open. For such a cool concept and such a high quality movie, it needed to be better. Is that like really what they're trying to like? It was so goofy, you know?
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a great point, because I thought the same thing watching it. I'm like, shit, like it led up to being so creepy and everything was so cool looking, and then some of that weird CGI started kicking in, and I'm just like, come on, Shudder. I'm like, y'all were doing so good, and then you just fucked us with this CGI. Like, I agree. I agree with that, honestly. It's a very good point. So I kind of just like overlooked it and tried to forgive it, but I know I probably shouldn't. But yeah, you have a great point.
Don't be upset. I'm just ribbing you.
So the third point is there's a couple of things in the movie that I think could have been expanded on that would have been really cool. So like Bohemian Grove itself, like they touched on it a little, and then they kind of alluded to the fact that it was like a blood sacrifice and all that. But it's such a cool story because it is a real thing. Because some people aren't familiar with that at all, unless you're like a weirdo like me and you watch videos on it. So some people might not have any idea like really what that is.
You saw that video of that guy sneaking into the Bohemian Grove?
Holy fuck. Dude, I'm actually here. This is insane.
Yes, and some people won't get that at all. They don't understand that reference, and I think that sucks because that is a real thing. It's not just in the movie, and that could have been very cool to expand on. You know what I mean? So that was one of the things that bothered me, because when it ended, I just couldn't believe that it was actually over. I think if you're watching it and you don't know anything about Bohemian Grove, the way that they brought it up was not enough to really care about it or understand why it's like, oh fuck, like that's crazy. Because if you've never heard of it, you don't know why that's significant, you know? And then, like, the ending was such an acid trip like what's going on kind of thing. And I just think we could have been using that time to like really be doing something cool. But it was so confusing and hard to follow, and they have all these cool concepts.
I guess I can see your point with that. That's true. Maybe because I've spent so many hours watching all this crazy shit on YouTube that when I saw it in the movie, I was like, oh shit.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I was like, they going there. They going there, this movie.
Buddy.
I think personally, you made some great points. I don't disagree with any of them. You know, I may think a little different about some of them, but it also, you know, it was during that time in the 70s, during that whole occult like rise. People were learning more about that type of stuff, and to see it in the beginning, you know, the beginning footage of them talking about all of that, it made you feel like it was legit. Like maybe this is a tape that I shouldn't be watching.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you ever saw the movie VHS.
Mhm.
Like when I first seen that when it first came out, I had to show so many friends because I just was like, what the fuck is this? Like I wasn't sure if it was real or not. It just put me in that zone where like I said, like I was going to be watching something that I shouldn't be watching.
I definitely get that. In the beginning, they set it up so well that you're like, is this like... Is this real? Is this actually the footage? You get really into it in the beginning, and that's why the ending devastated me so much, because it was such a good idea.
To touch on the ending as well, like you said, the CGI with her head splitting and all that static shit happening, and
Yes.
that was my least favorite part of the movie. That shit was awful.
Awful, awful, awful.
From what I gave you, from my points, do you think maybe you would give it a second chance?
I would definitely watch it again, because I'm all for that. Maybe I'll see stuff I didn't see. And like I said, I didn't totally hate it. I mean, we disagree, but we agree, because like we both agree the CGI could have been better. I still think the beginning was great, and I think the concept was good. So yeah, I'll watch it again. Maybe I'll like it better this time. I don't know.
Thank you for the reassurance. I was beginning to wonder, Gus.
Me too.
If you agree or disagree with Horror Girl and I, just let us know in the comments. If you could please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can catch all of our latest videos. I want to say thank you to everyone for checking out and supporting our videos on this channel.
Thanks for checking us out.
And until next time, we'll see you soon.